Welcome to MSUA's Game Changers Live, where we speak with satellite and mobile connectivity thought leaders about trends, where things are headed, and the future of mobile satellite connectivity. I am your host, Lisa Dreyer, and I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Jassem Nasser. He is the Chief Business Development Officer at Thuraya. Welcome to the show, Jassem.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for hosting me again.
Absolutely. It's so great to have you back. Maybe we can start by having you give a little bit of background on yourself and then Yasat and Thuraya.
All right. Like you introduced me, I'm the Chief Business Development Officer. I look over a number of functions within Thuraya. It covers business development, product management, business intelligence, uh, and I also support some of the strategic activities within the organization and the overall group as well. Thuraya is a leading MSS operator and is the mobility arm within the Yasat Group, who is the UAE national satellite operator and provider, with businesses covering MSS, which is done through the Thuraya brand, HTS, high throughput services, through the Yaclick brand, governmental solutions and services through Yasat Government Solutions, and finally the broadcasting business, which is done through the Live brand. Thuraya has been in operations since 2001. We have two satellites and covering more than 150 countries. At present, we provide MSS offerings in terms of voice and data connectivity and solutions for land, maritime, aero, and IoT segments. When you look at Thuraya caters to users with specific requirements, including mobility, high mobility and reliability, small form factor terminals, as well as flexibility and interoperability. The product portfolio addresses the needs for high-end users as well as low-end users. Thuraya has been and still is the dominant provider for in the voice handset market within our core footprint. And over the years, we have proved ourselves to be a challenging provider in the land data and maritime markets as well.
Wow. Amazing. That is such, I mean, I've worked with your organization for a number of years, and I've been so impressed with everything that you're working on and everything that you've done over the years. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the innovative mobile satcom solutions that you're working on now.
Sure. Uh, as you are aware, YASAT has embarked on a full transformation or infrastructure transformation program back in 2020, which includes the Thuraya 4 satellite, as well as new technology platforms and products covering land, maritime, and aero, targeted towards government as well as commercial customers. We've made announcements since late 2020 up until recently, and these announcements cover the contracts that we entered into with different partner vendors. During the remainder of this year, we plan to launch many new products, including the Thuraya Tactical Radio converter solution, an enhanced Marine Star product, as well as a new handheld product. This is all coming on top of what we are bringing as well next year, which is a major milestone for us because that will witness the launch of Thuraya 4 satellite and the launch of the next generation broadband products. In terms of the platforms that we announced as well, we entered into a contract with Cobham Satcom for the next generation broadband services, and into another contract with Comtech for the location tracking system. That's a platform that comes as well with products covering land, maritime, as well as aero.
Oh my gosh. So when you think about all of these mobile initiatives that you're working on? Obviously, it seems like mobile is absolutely a very big focus, especially as you're moving forward with some of these new initiatives. What are you seeing as kind of the primary trends from a mobile perspective?
I believe the satellite industry at present is going through, let's say, a transformation phase with a number of disruptive trends or concepts. I can try to shed the light on some of these. One is we've been talking about convergence between MSS and FSS for so long, but it is increasing, especially with the introduction of the LEO mega constellations and their ability to lower the end user equipment cost. Uh, at Thuraya, we have not seen much impact from this yet in terms of the competitive landscape, but I think this is something to watch out for. Another key trend is the direct-to-device concept, which is being pursued by a number of players, existing and new players, basically to connect smartphones directly with satellites, aiming to provide services covering from messaging to voice to data connectivity. D2D direct device is expected to impact certain market segments, but it is also expected to expand the potential user base for mobile satellite industry. Thuraya's operations and access to L-band spectrum positions it in a very well or in a very good way to leverage such concept. Uh, Finally, I would touch on the adoption of the terrestrial technology standards and the work that is being done within 3GPP in terms of 5G NTN and NB-IoT. The ability to leverage the terrestrial ecosystem in terms of radio network, chipsets, etc., will lower the capex requirements for satellite operators as well as open up new market segments and use cases, uh, simply based on offering seamless connectivity between terrestrial and satellite networks as one integrated network. So these are the key trends or concepts that I see that are potentially going to impact the mobile satellite industry within the next 5 years, I say.
Right. So I think that one of the areas that's been talked about a lot, especially in the satellite industry, is this concept of direct to device. How close are we to really having that available in a general sense?
The direct to device. Let's talk about what's being offered today. Today, it is restricted to the ability to offer messaging service, whether one way or two way. Uh, Going beyond the messaging into voice, I think that's something feasible. Uh, but then going beyond that into data connectivity, I think expectations would need to be managed because I think the best that the proponents of direct device are talking about is the ability to offer something like 2 to 4 megabits in terms of data throughput within a beam, not even to a user. So we're really talking about 3G kind of capabilities delivered from the satellites to the smartphone. Now, not discounting the importance of this when you are out of the reach and you're out of the terrestrial network coverage, I think that's important. The question is how to make the business case really work. I mean, technologically, innovation wise, this is great and very good. I think to position it really within the mainstream telecom, I think it will need the participation of the OEMs or the MNOs or both to make this really a reality in the next 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You've talked a lot about supporting mobile solutions from a land, maritime, and aero perspective. Can you dig into a couple of the specific use cases?
Uh, I can talk about some of the use cases that we've come across. You would as you know, within business development, you come across like hundreds of opportunities, and then you work on these, and these are really narrowed down to like 10%. Uh, One of the I would say like unusual opportunities was for us to support like fintech or blockchain kind of opportunity using our technology, and more specifically on handheld devices. So this is something that we've come across and we worked on.
Hmm.
Another use case that is more sort of challenging use case. These are the ones that require high adaptation or development of a new product. For example, we are supporting at present the maritime fisheries market using our Marine Star product. The use case is really originated based on regulatory requirements in the fishery industry. Regulations vary from one country to another, and even when you have like sort of similar regulations, the technical implementation varies from one country to another, or one customer to another. This has been one of the use cases, or one of the challenging use cases that we have experienced. And in fact, this has led to some of the innovation work that we're doing currently on the Marine Star product. By the way, the Marine Star is the product that we got the MSUA award last year in 2022.
Great, great. Okay. Maybe you kind of talked about some of the partnerships that are playing a key role in some of the new solutions that you're rolling out. Can you talk a little bit more about the role partnerships are playing in your business today?
Sure. Uh, unlike other operators who like employ direct indirect kind of business models when they go to the market, we have been consistently adopting a wholesale model and depending really on service partners to offer our services and support the end users. And this is across 150 countries. So we have like distribution partners like more than 100 at present. The service partners are the ones fronting the end users, and they are the ones responsible for distribution, promotion, customer education, regulatory compliances, etc. Uh, Other than service partners, we of course work with vendor partners who develop our products and solutions, and they are as important as the service partners to the success of the business. The supply chain is dependent on them, and they enable us to offer and serve our customer needs with products, whether being existing products or new products. The way we look at and work with technology vendors is like our partners, because uh, we are part of the same business, and we seek to follow more of a partnership model rather than a supplier or a vendor one.
Yeah, that makes sense. You talked a little bit about customers, right? The end customers that are actually leveraging the services. What are some of the things that you would recommend that the user community is really looking at or learning about as we're moving into, kind of as some of these new mobile solutions become available?
I think customers can first of all, it really depends on the market segment, but I think professional satellite users they need to look at the system's reliability, the ability to serve their needs, depending on the time frame of the service that they require, whether this is short term or long term. I think trying to focus only on pricing might be good in the short term, but does not serve well in the long term. So you need to really look at how your requirements are being met. You look at the profile of the satellite operator or provider, in terms of legacy and historical and uh, performance in terms of innovation and launch of products, and the ability to continue to serve the customers in a good way and consistent way, really. Uh, these are the things that I would say that the end users really should really think about, and not just focus on the pricing element. Uh, Although we adopt a wholesale model, but we have a market development function, which is really the purpose of it is to create the pull from the market, educate the end users, and promote our services and all the work that is being done within Thuraya. Uh,
Mhm.
I can give an example which relates to this question, and I think that could be something useful for the audience if you like. So.
Yeah.
Uh, One of the use cases that we worked on is that we had a VIP customer with a number of yachts using analog radio system for communication between vessels as well as communication from the vessel to the shore. In the maritime environment, this is critical to enable the crew to navigate safely and to contact onshore support and have regular communication. The customer wanted to continue using the existing installed radio system because it serves the need when it is within the repeater coverage. But as they go off the coast, a few nautical miles, then there's no more coverage anymore. So besides the being analog, the radio system, it also had coverage limitation issue. We worked with the customer and also the service partner to install a push-to-talk solution on the yachts. The team worked very diligently with the customer, with the service partner, to ensure that the solution is, first of all, working properly, is installed properly, and is interoperable with the existing installed radio system. Uh, the solution from Thuraya consisted of the mobile gateway delivering the PTT service, operating in conjunction with the Thuraya Orion IP terminal, which is our maritime broadband terminal. This was done in a very cooperative and transparent approach with the end customer because of the importance of the customer and the importance that this is going to be used in the maritime environment where there is no alternative communication means. So we had to make sure that this is something to the satisfaction of the end customer and to the satisfaction of the service requirements of the customer. And the solution was endorsed and accepted by the end customer.
Wow, fantastic. That's a great example. So I think that you probably remember, I think so last year we celebrated 30 years of the Mobile Satellite Users Organization being around. And so, kind of with that in mind, things have obviously changed quite a lot in the last 30 years. And I'd like to have you kind of give us your prediction of what things might look like 30 years from now into the future.
I can ask you the same question because I don't know the answer to that.
It's true. It's
I'm,
true.
I'm, I'm not sure if I can answer, predict something for the next 3 years, 30 years. I don't think anyone can. I don't think anyone can predict anything for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the satellite industry is really going through a very specific time and unprecedented kind of dynamic changes within the satellite industry. New disruptive concepts, are coming, and it is yet to be seen how these will unfold and whether they will be successful or not.
Mhm.
I think some of the key trends that I touched upon earlier in terms of the D2D, the adoption of terrestrial technology standards, I think these are all holding true in terms of what we see today. To be frank, rather than predicting what might come in the next 30 years, I think to some extent we should try to take control of what do we want to achieve as the satellite industry in the next 5 to 10 years. Uh, we have great opportunities to be part of the mainstream telecom mainstream,
Yes.
and that depends really on us on how we want to work in terms of the business model and how we want to cooperate between us because I think it is key cooperation between satellite operators. And I think one example we see today is that there is consolidation happening within the satellite industry in terms of mergers and acquisitions. I think cooperation in general is key and critical to our success in the next 5 to 10 years, because I think previously we had regional operators, small operators, global operators, and there used to be a place for like everyone. Things have changed and the dynamics have changed. The market, the competitive landscape has changed, and
Yes.
I think it is it is it is survival, modes that we need to pursue, and I think cooperation and partnerships is key to that, because that's the only way to really to create scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, so cooperation is a great prediction. So, Jasmine, I want to thank you so much for making time to be here today. This has been a great conversation, and we really appreciate all of your insights.
Thank you, Lisa, and I appreciate hosting me.
Absolutely. And I do want to take a moment to thank the Mobile Satellite Users Association for hosting these sessions. You can learn more about the MSUA at msua.org. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Game Changers Live.
Thank you, Lisa.